Dean Kletzer.
President Adams, I would like to present to you the candidates for honorary degree. President Adams, I have the honor to present for the degree Doctor of Science, honoris causa, David M. Bodine IV.
David M. Bodine IV, human geneticist, national leader in the study of genetics of blood disorders. You are the senior investigator and chief of the Genetics and Molecular Biology branch at the NIH National Human Genome Research Institute. Having entered Colby more interested in extracurricular activities than academics, you credit Professors Art Champlin and Miriam Bennett with seeing your intellectual potential and challenging you to meet high expectations. You did not disappoint. You graduated from Colby with a degree in biology and environmental studies and were awarded the Webster Chester Prize in Biology for excellence in undergraduate research. After graduate work at Rutgers and the Jackson Laboratory, your academic career took you to the National Institutes of Health as a postdoctoral fellow, staff fellow, and section chief. At NIH, your research has focused on the genetic basis of new blood cell formation. You have served as president of the American Society of Gene Therapy and counselor to the American Society of Hematology. And you received the NIH Mentor of the Year Award and the Daniela Marie Arturi Foundation Pioneer Award. You have served on numerous editorial boards and are the author of more than 100 peer-reviewed publications. In the past decade, you have been mentor, advocate, and friend to 24 Colby students working in your lab, warm colleague to faculty members, and champion of our academic programs. You have instilled in students your love of research and discovery, as well as confidence in their abilities, and the college thanks you for helping them launch successful careers and lives. By the authority of the Board of Trustees of Colby College, I confer upon you, David M. Bodine IV, the degree of Doctor of Science, honoris causa, the hood with which you have been invested, and this diploma, which I place in your hand, are visible symbols of your membership in the Society of Scholars, to all the rights and privileges of which I declare you eligible.
I'll start over. President Adams, I have the honor to present for the degree Doctor of Education, honoris causa, Eleanor R. Duckworth.
Eleanor R. Duckworth, cognitive psychologist, observer of children's learning, teacher of teachers, education activist. You studied philosophy as a member of Colby's class of 1957 and psychology and pedagogy at the University of Paris and the University of Geneva. You were a student of renowned Swiss developmental psychologist Jean Piaget. For many years, you translated his lectures for English-speaking audiences and taught courses on his scholarship. And you developed key ideas from Piaget into new methods and insights. You have held appointments in North America and Europe, and you have lectured and consulted across the globe, from teaching third graders in Quebec and college students in Nova Scotia and Geneva to serving as a researcher and lecturer at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. In 1981, you joined the faculty of Harvard's Graduate School of Education, where you were professor of education and served as chair of the learning and teaching area, director of teacher education programs, and now in retirement as research professor. Your contemporary lectures on education in the United States address the shortcomings of education policy labeled as school reform. You maintain that current policy deprives students of a good education and teachers of their professional dignity. You help fellow educators appreciate that children's minds have their own logic and integrity. You have written, quote, "What I love to do is teach teachers. I love to stir up their thoughts about what they learn, about how on earth anyone can help someone else learn, and about what it means to know something." By the authority of the Board of Trustees of Colby College, I confer upon you, Eleanor Duckworth, the degree of Doctor of Education honoris causa, the hood with which you have been invested, and this diploma, which I place in your hand, are visible symbols of your membership in the Society of Scholars, to all the rights and privileges of which I declare you entitled.
President Adams, I have the honor to present for the degree Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, C. Kenneth Ongalo Obote.
C. Kenneth Ongalo Obote, Member of Parliament of the Republic of Uganda, lawyer, political change agent, philosopher. You are a champion of women's rights whose campaign to represent the Kalaki focused on changing women's economic status, emphasizing the importance of educational access, especially for girls. Your campaign also called for access to health care for all Ugandans, as well as infrastructure, micro-development, and rural aid programs. You graduated from Colby with a double major in government and philosophy, earned a law degree from Boston College, and were admitted to the Massachusetts Bar. In South Africa, you worked for Member of Parliament William Hofmeyr and were inspired by your close look at that country's transition from apartheid to a more inclusive and democratic form of government. You returned to Uganda to a life of public service. You began with the preparation of a 1996 Uganda Law Reform Commission report on domestic relations in the country, then participated in a decade-long process that culminated in a domestic relations bill aimed at the emancipation of women. That bill is currently under parliamentary consideration. Your steadfast dedication to these and to other causes have earned you the support and respect of your constituents and your fellow members of Parliament. Your intelligence, energy, personal charisma, and strong leadership capabilities bode well for a long and fruitful career in service to your country and its people. Colby is proud of you. By the authority of the Board of Trustees of Colby College, I confer upon you, C. Kenneth Ongalo Obote, the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, the hood with which you have been invested, and this diploma which I place in your hand are the visible symbols of your membership in the Society of Scholars, to all the rights and privileges of which I declare you eligible.
President Adams, I have the honor to present for the degree Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, Elizabeth Ann Zernicki Quist.
Elizabeth Ann Zernicki Quist, volunteer, public servant, patriot. You graduated from Colby with a degree in economics and administrative science, became a certified public accountant, and started your own accounting practice. As a military spouse with a husband deployed in combat, you helped build the Semper Fi Fund and served as its treasurer. From its startup phase, when your kitchen table doubled as your desk, to its current iteration as a highly respected non-for-profit, the Semper Fi Fund has provided more than $75 million in grants to injured and ill combat veterans and their families. The funds help servicemen and servicewomen and those who love them cope with the trauma and upheaval that comes with being wounded in war. Semper Fi volunteers ensure that these brave people are not forgotten. Your own contributions to the cause have also been personal. Even your exposure to the stories gathered by Semper Fi could not have prepared you for the challenge of supporting your own critically injured husband, Captain Eric Quist, through his long and painful recovery. You spent months in military medical centers, not only offering love and strength to Eric, but also to the families of other wounded combat veterans. It was not a role you chose, yet in it you shone. Your sense of civic responsibility only grew in this difficult time. You served as the Occoquan, Virginia Town Council and are now Occoquan's Vice Mayor. Your service to family, community, and country brings honor to America and to your alma mater. By the authority of the Board of Trustees of Colby College, I confer upon you, Elizabeth Ann Zernicki Quist, the degree of Doctor of Laws honoris causa, the hood with which you have been invested, and this diploma, which I place in your hand, are the visible symbols of your membership in this Society of Scholars, to all the rights and privileges of which I declare you eligible.
President Adams, I have the honor to present for the degree Doctor of Laws honoris causa Eric Christian Chenery Quist.
Eric Christian Chenery Quist, Captain, United States Marine Corps, decorated combat veteran, leader, and role model. You majored in economics at Colby and began a career in the technology sector. But a saying of your father's, "What did you do for God and country today?" rang in your ears, and like him, you joined the Corps. You served 2 tours in Iraq and then began an assignment in the effort to move Helmand Province, Afghanistan, toward peace. There, an improvised explosive device destroyed your combat vehicle and left you with severe injuries, and you came home to heal. Despite doctors' worries that your feet might not be saved, you were determined to recover and to walk again on your own 2 feet. Through months of treatments and surgeries, pain and uncertainty, you remained a leader. As senior officer of the Wounded Warriors Floor at Walter Reed National Military Medical Center, you did not let your own pain keep you from what you viewed as both a responsibility and a privilege, wheeling yourself from room to room to encourage younger Marines, many of whom had lost limbs. You are the recipient of the Purple Heart, the Bronze Star with Combat V, and 2 combat action ribbons. Your courage and unfaltering sense of duty have earned the respect of others wounded in combat, of your fellow Marines, of the medical professionals who have treated you, of those who have followed your inspiring recovery, and of the college that is honored to count you as an alum. Colby joins a grateful nation in thanking you for service to your country and those you fight to protect. By the authority of the Board of Trustees of Colby College, I confer upon you, Eric Christian Chenery Quist, the degree of Doctor of Laws honoris causa. The hood with which you have been invested and this diploma, which I place in your hand, are the visible symbols of your membership in this Society of Scholars, to all the rights and privileges of which I declare you eligible.
President Adams, I have the honor to present for the degree Doctor of Laws honoris causa Peter M. Rouse.
Peter M. Rouse, the Fixer. You came to Colby from New Haven, Connecticut, where your father was professor of anthropology at Yale and your mother taught in the university's Institute for Oriental Languages. You majored in history, covered sports for the Echo, and were a standout third baseman. After graduating in 1968, you earned a master's degree from the London School of Economics and Harvard's Kennedy School of Government. You began your government work as an aide to South Dakota's Senator James Aberesk, but were drawn to Alaska, where your Japanese immigrant grandparents had raised their family. You served as Chief of Staff to the state's Lieutenant Governor for 4 years, then returned to Washington to take up the same role for Senator Dick Durbin. Your 19 years as Chief of Staff to Senator Tom Daschle included his turn as Senate Majority Leader, and you were dubbed the 101st Senator for your extraordinary knowledge of Congress and its workings. In 2004, newly elected Senator Barack Obama convinced you to join his team. He said of you, "My Chief of Staff is as well-connected and as well-known, as popular and as smart and as savvy a person as there is on Capitol Hill, but is completely ego-free." All of those traits have combined to make you an irreplaceable asset in the Obama presidency. At the White House, you have been senior advisor to the President, Chief of Staff, the first Asian American to serve in that capacity, and since 2011, counselor to the President. There's a slogan around the White House your boss said in tribute to your ability to get the hard things done: "Let's let Pete fix it." By the authority of the Board of Trustees of Colby College, I confer upon you, Peter M. Rouse, the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, the hood with which you have been invested, and this diploma which I place in your hand are the visible symbols of your membership in this Society of Scholars, to all the rights and privileges of which I declare you eligible.
President Adams, I have the honor to present for the degree Doctor of Letters, honoris causa, Gregory White Smith.
Gregory White Smith, prize-winning writer and co-author of 18 books. You graduated summa cum laude with a major in English in the class of 1973 and went on to earn advanced degrees from Harvard Law School and its Graduate School of Education. Diagnosed with inoperable brain cancer in 1986, you beat incredibly high odds against survival. After this experience, so vividly chronicled in your Making Miracles Happen, you and Stephen Nafee, your co-author, life partner, and business partner, co-founded the influential international directory Best Doctors, which connects patients with excellent physicians. Best Doctors parallels your earlier project, Best Lawyers, preeminent guide to the legal profession worldwide. The subjects of your books range from an exploration of men's emotional reticence to a murder in a Mormon family to an amusing narrative of your restoration of a 60-room mansion in South Carolina, now the site of a Juilliard-allied summer music festival. You are best known for your meticulously researched books on artists Jackson Pollock and Vincent van Gogh. Jackson Pollock, An American Saga, won the Pulitzer Prize for biography for its account of the interconnection between the artist's personal demons and his iconoclastic art. Most recently, your Vincent van Gogh life helps readers understand how Van Gogh's primal, joyful art emerged in part from his preternatural ability to absorb lessons from other artists, despite his unhappiness. Because you have so helpfully mapped the professions of law and medicine, served as an innovative patron of the arts, and most of all because you have written books of uncommon grace and liveliness and insight, Colby takes pride in counting you among our most distinguished graduates. By the authority of the Board of Trustees of Colby, I confer upon you, Gregory White Smith, the degree of Doctor of Letters, honoris causa. The hood with which you have been invested in this diploma, which I place in your hand, are the visible symbols of your membership in this Society of Scholars, to all the rights and privileges of which I declare you eligible.
President Adams, I have the honor to present for the degree Doctor of Divinity, honoris causa, Metropolitan Savas Zambilis.
Metropolitan Savas Zambilis, lover of God, lover of popular culture, global ambassador. You were born to Greek immigrant shop owners in Gary, Indiana, and you came to Colby because you wanted to hang up the shop apron and see what life could hold. At Colby, you tried things on. You were a gifted actor, a punk rocker, a convener of all-night conversations about ancient and modern ideas. Your childhood faith was challenged by encounters with the likes of Friedrich Nietzsche, but after graduation, you sought to claim it again in a new and deeper form. You shed your belongings and went to Greece, where you lived and prayed among monks. There began a life in the church. You received a master's in divinity from Holy Cross Greek Orthodox School of Theology, worked and studied in Oxford, England, and became a monk, then a deacon, then a parish priest. You were named Chancellor of the Greek Orthodox Diocese of America, Bishop of Troas, and you directed the Archdiocesan Office of Church, Society, and Culture and chaired the National Assembly Committee on Church and Society. In 2011, you were consecrated Metropolitan of Pittsburgh, and in that capacity, you are the spiritual leader of Greek Orthodox parishioners in Pennsylvania and Ohio and West Virginia. At every phase of your life in the church, you have been in the vanguard. As Metropolitan, you engage with contemporary society and its cultural realities from Orthodox Christian perspective, and you do that on Facebook as well as from pulpits. You illuminate the presence of the sacred in everyday life and call on all of us to remember and to act on our obligations to each other. By the authority of the Board of Trustees of Colby College, I confer upon you, Metropolitan Savas Zambilas, the degree of Doctor of Divinity honoris causa. The hood with which you have been invested and this diploma which I place in your hand are the visible symbols of your membership in the Society of Scholars, to all the rights and privileges of which I declare you eligible.